Oh shit, what's up, y'all? I love this fucking song. Oppressor, Agony. This is the song Passage. Fucking love this song. Saw him live with Cannibal Corpse and Immolation and Brutal Truth on that Vile tour. Passage, Valley of Thorns. Sick songs. Get a chance, listen to As Blood Flows. That's a good one. I mentioned Revocation the other day. I found the CD. It's Empire of the Obscene. We're going to spin that one soon. Throw it over there. Dude. It's June. This is coming up. What? Yeah. I'm super excited about that. Dead by Dog. It's going to be exciting. Watching those interviews with Sven and Niels. Dude, those guys are cool as fuck. Yeah, I thought about playing Oppressor because somebody in one of Justin's comments was like, "Do you like Oppressor?" And I'm like, I do. Yep. So you got As Blood Flows, Solstice of Oppression, and Agony, and then Elements of Corrosion. Elements of Corrosion being like the weakest one. As Blood Flows being like a demo. And then there was Agony and Solstice of Oppression. This is all I have. Although I'm familiar with all this stuff, because I heard it way back in the day. So I played Morta Skull out of the old collection here. And I think somebody commented what that actually meant, and I pinned it in that comment. Norse or something, I don't remember. But Micah's a fan of Morta Skull, and this how you're saying now my hat surface was and the Dying Remains or Prolong the Agony demo. Well, I'm going to agree with you on Prolong the Agony. That was hot shit. I listened to Dying Remains. It was good, you know. Reminds me of like Hypocrisy, Fourth Dimension. Kind of that kind of vibe going on. Or was it brutal death? It wasn't super technical, but it was melodic, but not like so melodic that it wasn't heavy. You know, they split that. Like Hypocrisy, Fourth Dimension was kind of melodic, but like Morta Skull kind of like treads that melodic yet heavy line. I see why so many of you guys love it now. After looking at anything other than Surface, yeah, I was like, oh no, I get it now. Surface was the meh album. What I had, what I got. But Dying Remains, 1993, that was a good one. But that demo, Prolong the Agony. Ooh, that was cool. From 1990, wow. I got a track listing here. Useless to Mankind. Useless to Mankind. That was the track, about track 5. That's when I was like, okay, this is cool. The clean guitar parts. Headbanging part. This part coming up. This part. That harmony is so fucking cool. Then they're about to put a solo on it. Alright. Say what you want about Oppressor. That shit's kind of fun to me. I like it. Ooh, I'm sure. Okay, so here's a funny one. A story. Tell it while we're playing Oppressor here. Back in the day, I was still in Texas. And I had a group of friends that were non-metal, but we were in our 20s, I guess. Guys and gals at a party, and well, we all knew each other really, really well, so we were all very comfortable with each other. So there wasn't a lot of clothes on at that party. Now, everyone was clothed, no one was naked, but dude, everybody was walking around in very little clothing. And there was a lot of drinks and smoke to be had. We even had a guy that played the bongos. It was actually that guy I tell about in my stories, that dude Bob. Shit, I forgot he was there too, playing bongos, hitting the joint, dude. He could put an atmosphere down with them bongos, let me fucking tell you. So it was pretty tight, you know. So, throughout the evening, I got a little tipsy, more tipsy than usual. I had to excuse myself. I knew I was going to throw up. But I didn't want anybody to know I was going to throw up. I was just like, I'm going to take a leak. I got to that bathroom, I'm spinning around. Anybody get that room spinning? We're like, oh, I'm way fucked up. So I was looking at the toilet, like, just throw up in the toilet. But there was 3 toilets. I couldn't tell which one was the actual toilet. There were 3 of them, and they were all spinning around like a kaleidoscope. And I was like, oh, that's not. This is worse. This is worse. So what I did was, in my infinite drunken wisdom and stoned wisdom, the shower was right next to the toilet, and I just pulled back the shower curtain, and boy, I puked my fucking guts up. Try not to interrupt the oppressor. So I puked my guts up in this tub, and then I instantly felt better. I was like, okay, whew, drink some water real fast. Okay. Then I looked at the tub and I realized, oh my god, it was disgusting in there. Just disgusting. So I just pulled the shower curtain back, went back to the party, we had a great night. Then we all just kind of crashed until dawn and then got our clothes back on and went our separate ways. So like a week later maybe, I reconvened with these guys. So that was probably on a Saturday night or whatever. I saw those guys again like on a Friday night. Or Tuesday night, or whatever the fuck. And the guy, I'll go ahead and say his name was like Dave or something like that. So, I reconvened with him at one of our usual meeting spots and was like, hey, of course we'd all seen each other damn near naked at this point. guys and girls. Guys and, you know, so, there are almost no secrets between us anymore. I was like, man, I had a great time. Thanks for inviting us out. That was he was like, man, it was awesome. I'm not gonna believe this. I'm like, what's up, buddy? He was like, some asshole puked in my fucking tub. Then cleaned it up. Saw that the next morning and I got sick myself. I'm like, no, that's horrible. That's terrible. And I tried to sell that as straight-faced as I could. I kept that to myself for years. Till I moved away from Texas. I never told that story to anybody till I moved away from Texas. Then I told the story. But yeah, I puked my guts up in there, and he was like, man, somebody puked in my tub. I'm like, no, that's terrible. Who would do such a thing? Cattle Prod back in his wild drinking days. So I put out a video the other day. I not had the chance to look at a lot of the comments on it, but it's the one that came out Monday. At the time of recording, it's Tuesday today. It's going to be Thursday for y'all. So I have no idea how that video is doing, but I had like 50 views and 20 comments, so the interactions were like awesome. One of the comments, Red Blue Sam. I've seen you in the comments before, Red Blue. And he said, nailed it, bro. I think most metalheads are just wired differently. And I mean that technically. I don't know for sure, but it seems a lot of us in their music are neurodivergent in one way or another. I do list examples. While I'm not autist or ADHD or anything like that, I probably have like some manic depression or something like that, because I get like major highs, major lows. But in my 20s to 30s, I think it was worse. I think in my 30s I kind of tapered off, to be honest with you. And now I'm in my 40s, and now I'm just something else. I'm just weird. I'm in my 40s, and most people are just like, you're fucking weird. And I'm like, yeah, and my wife is weird too. I think that's why we work out so damn well. But yeah, neurodivergent in one way or another. Red Blue, I think you're onto something. Anyone who's been in the metal scene for any length of time seems to be slightly off. That doesn't mean bad, and it doesn't mean criminal, and it doesn't mean put him in a mental psychiatric institution. No, it doesn't mean that, but just, I mean, you have to be a bit odd to enjoy this. It's like horror movies. You know, people like a good scare every now and then, but like some of us like horror movies. Like we watch them a lot and we study them, and you know, we really get into the characters. Like we talked about Leatherface. Leatherface always comes up. Leatherface is one of the coolest villains ever. And to sit here and just have these conversations about it, yeah, you kind of have to be a little weird. But what else you got here? I mean, you have to be open-minded to enjoy. Yeah, you do have to be open-minded to enjoy the music. Yeah. I know people that are musically trained, classically trained, and they will listen to anything and give you their professional opinion on the music. But it doesn't mean they're into it, you know. But us sitting over here banging our heads like normal, he says here, normal people, I'm assuming you're a guy, you could be a girl, I don't know. Normal people don't want to listen to drums that sound like a freaking machine gun blasting away at 200 beats per minute. Yeah, they're right. You're right, dude. They don't. Like, oh, I remember one time at a club, dude, at one of the MCs, man. I think it was the club I was with, and I was behind the bar, because that's just, I was the newest guy, or the prospect, or whatever, and that's where your place is. But we had some one percenters that would come by the house and hang out just for a few minutes. One or two of them lived in the neighborhood, and there was another clubhouse not far down the road. So they would drift in if they ever saw motorcycles out front. They drift in, just say hey. grab a beer on the way home or whatever. Very common thing. That's why I liked hanging out there. Was park my bike out front, open it up for some of the guys so they could just stop by and have a drink, decompress, go home to their old ladies and their kids. And it gave me a chance to get to know them better, and likewise they got to know me better. It's what you do in a scene, in that club scene. So if I got a chance to, I was putting music on the we used YouTube a lot. It wasn't the only thing we had, but I used YouTube because I could get the music I was used to. And this guy, he had a couple beers. He was good and relaxed. He had a long day, and he was just decompressing, having a couple beers, chatting with me, chatting with one of the other brothers. And I was playing death metal. I don't remember what, like Burial or Dehumanized or something, And they were just doing their thing and not really paying attention to the music. Well, the alcohol finally calmed them down. The conversation died down. And that one percenter was like looking at the music, the TV where the music was coming from, looking at that, looking at his drink, looking around the clubhouse, taking stock of who was in there, looking back at that music, and he was like, "You put this on, didn't you?" Because it was blast beating death metal. He was like, "You put the music on, didn't you?" What? Yeah. Get you another. So yeah, normal guys. I mean, some of those guys who liked hard rock, they love Pantera. They love Pantera. And yes, in one of the clubs, we had a relative of one of the members who was a real cool guy. He was just a relative, and he got total why he could come in. And just, "Oh, it's you. Come on in." We were talking about music, and he was like, I had a death metal shirt on, I don't remember what. He's like, "I don't know what that band is." I was like, "Oh, it's death metal." And he was like, "Oh, okay, so it's heavy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I listen to heavy shit, real heavy shit." And he literally said this: "What's heavier than?" It was like, "I like Pantera," and I was like, "It's heavier than Pantera." "What's heavier than Pantera?" Dude literally said this. I mean, this is before I even, J-Dog might have even been a thing. I mean, Hell's probably was, but I don't think his channel, "What's Heavier Than Pantera?" I don't know if that was a thing yet. I didn't know about it. It may have been a thing, but I didn't know about it. And he was like, "What's heavier than Pantera?" And I was like, "Oh, I got something for you. I put on Suffocation, Human Waste." Just funny, a while later, like a year or two later, I would be watching Justin, "What's heavier than Pantera?" And I'm like, that happens, y'all. That happens. In that biker scene, that happened. I definitely heard the statement, "What's heavier than Pantera?" But I played Human Waste and from Suffocation, and he was like, "Damn, that drummer's good. That drummer's really. This is heavy. This is way heavier than Pantera." Like, yeah. Few dudes didn't like the death metal. They didn't like it. But I had a couple brothers in the club that they liked heavier shit. So occasionally you'd hear Meshuggah. It was probably like that. There was the line we could tread of heavy, but not quite death metal. Meshuggah seemed to split the line for a lot of those guys. "Oh, it's heavier than Pantera, but it's not that." I tried playing Dillinger Escape Plan for him. Boy, that got the blood pressure up. So, anyways, neurodivergent, probably. And you said it says here again, it's like candy from a brain, which makes it so hard to relate to normies because they care about drinking and watching sports. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, I know we keep saying that, the drinking beer and watching the football. Well, some of these dudes didn't watch football, but they definitely were the beer drinking type, So we make these jokes, and then we all mention how that's happened to us. Like, "Oh, I like Pantera, let's watch football." "What's heavier than Pantera?" Well, yeah, these things have happened to us. So yeah, we might be off a little bit. And then Sean Skeered, I guess that's how you say his name, Sean Skeered. Sean 222. I pinned his comment because I thought Sean's comment was brilliant. I don't remember what he said, but I pinned it. The comments on Red Blue here. Let's go a step further and say the diagnosis of these reactions to unnatural situations such as ADD is centuries of instinct telling us to get up and move our bodies as we should. Sean, you are brilliant. I love the insight from this guy. Wow. Yeah, I think it's what it is. I think all neurodivergence is us just like wanting to go do the things. I think all of us in this death metal scene, all of us real motherfuckers, and some of y'all are in the comments are definitely real. Some of y'all are. I think some of us must have been like warriors with shields and spears on an ancient battlefield. I think our previous lives were definitely that. And I'm not saying reincarnation or anything like that. I think it is us. I don't think we live a new life. I think it's the same person. I think it's us. But it's different because we were raised in that time versus this time. And I think we're not jiving with this time because of all the bullshit that's going on. And we just want to go back to like, you remember the fucking line combat with shield and spear at Thermopylae? You know? Don't you remember the Crusades, brother? Don't you remember that? Like, I honestly believe that's what's wrong with us, is we were on ancient battlefields, and metal is the closest thing to that insanity and brotherhood and sisterhood that, you know, I think it's closest we can get to that. It's the closest approximation, the pit, instead of that chaos. So, yeah, I had to bring some of this up real fast and cut this one really fast for you. We'll talk about this more later. I'm over 20 minutes. Oppressor, agony. Anybody like Oppressor? Anybody like some Oppressor? As Blood Flows, again, one of my favorite ones. Yeah, there we go. We're going to do that one for today. I'm Cattle Prod, your Appalachian Warlord. If there is a blast beat, I am with you. Later, y'all.